you for tuning in to Naijha Speaks. I'm Naijha Wright Brown, co-owner of the Land of Kush Vegan Soul Bistro in Baltimore and executive director of the Black Veg Society. Well, today we're going to be talking about citizen activism, how to enact plant-based food policies in your city. And today's guest is Laura Cascada from Better Food Foundation. How are you doing today, Laura?
Hi, thank you. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited about this upcoming seminar. And if anyone hasn't heard of it yet, which you should have, we are going to be hosting a webinar on Tuesday, March 15th, Citizen Advocacy, how to enact plant-based food policies in your city. So Laura, I'm going to hand it to you. How did this idea come about?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, first of all. And I'm excited to be here to talk about this. We've been seeing just amazing progress in terms of city leaders across the country from coast to coast enacting different policies to help shape their communities into more plant-forward areas. And it really takes those leaders to set that precedent and show their communities that this is an important issue, especially for the climate and for our water and for land, and to fight pollution, that we really need leaders at the top showcasing the power of plant-based eating. And so we wanted to come together and spotlight some of those policies that have come into place everywhere from Washington, D.C. to Denver and beyond, and really feature the citizens themselves who have worked at the grassroots level to make these things happen.
Why now, Laura? Why are we doing this now?
Yeah, we're really reaching a crucial point. There's really no turning back from climate change, but if we can get this issue taken seriously at the city level, at the municipal level, and kind of trickle down into communities, that can really help us reshape the norm of what people are thinking about when they see a meal, instead of thinking about it as a big hamburger, maybe a veggie burger. And so that's like a really crucial first step, that policy that will spur collective change. And, earlier in the early 2010s, around that time, we started to see a lot of Meatless Monday policies, or a lot of sort of broad commitments to this idea of eating less meat. But finally, we're kind of reaching the cusp of activity where cities are actually coming up with concrete plans to not only do, Meatless Monday, but across the board, how are they going to reduce their meat and dairy purchases for all city hosted events, which is pretty amazing. And so activists are getting involved in using actually innovative strategies to make that happen, like Default Veg, which is a program that my organization runs to sort of make plants the default option and people can opt in to meat or dairy. And that has a massive impact. So citizens are kind of working with their leaders to get these actual tangible policies and strategies in place.
Well, I have the flyer here. Let me bring this up again. You have some guests here, so I know one of them personally. But let's talk about who's going to be there and who are you trying to track to attend this webinar? What's the target market?
Yeah, definitely. So there's definitely two groups of people who would really benefit from this. One are just everyday citizens who want to kind of make these changes at the city level. And it's, a surprisingly easy starting process to get into. Claudia Lifton, she's one of our participants. She is a citizen who is engaged on these issues and decided to join the Denver Mayor's Sustainability Advisory Council. And she's gotten that council to embrace Default Veg as a strategy for all of their meetings. And now she's working toward a citywide policy. So citizens like that are a great, target audience for this webinar. Also, if anyone out there actually works in their city government and wants to make a change and isn't really sure how to enact that change, they're really welcome to attend and learn kind of some of the challenges and lessons learned from these folks. We've also got Neelan Gore, who hails from Berkeley, California, and he's achieved probably one of the most profound plant forward policies in Berkeley by getting the city to commit to a 50% plant-based shift by 2025, which is pretty amazing. Also, my colleague, John Millspaugh, he works at our partner organization, Farm Farm Forward, and he's also the co-chair there of the Good Food Purchasing program in San Diego, where he lives. And they've been working on kind of a really broad package of reforms that not only includes the meat reduction, but also the labor issues and the local sourcing and just overall sustainability and fair practices in his community in San Diego. And then we've got Chloe Waterman, who hails from Friends of the Earth, and she was involved in a really exciting policy, really close to home to me, actually, in the DC area. She worked with a coalition to get DC to pass a new law this past year where they're committing to a substantial reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from food. So there's all kinds of different policies or actions that can be passed. And this group really provides a good overview of all the different strategies.
Yes, and I worked with Chloe on it, and I'm happy to be moderating the webinar next week. So I got to see firsthand all the work that's involved with putting a policy together, advocating for it, and holding meetings and just getting the work done. So this is going to be an incredible webinar for activists to attend. What specific questions do you think are going to be answered at this webinar? And I know you can't speak for everyone individually, but what are you looking for to be answered?
Yeah, I think a few key things. One is just how to get started. I think a lot of folks just, they're individual activists, especially in the time of COVID, they might not be well connected to different, groups in their community. So it will really answer that question. It will give people a sense of what kinds of options are out there to get enacted in your community. And also, I think one of the key lessons that folks have had to learn is how to actually get a concrete policy passed that officials are going to follow, because we've seen a lot of commitments like passed in climate action plans or other areas where there may just not be a follow through plan. And so officials don't actually enact that change. And, part of the intention is that, one, the city meals actually shift toward more plant-based options, but also that it's modeled for citizens, and citizens can look to their leaders and say, hey, they're showing me what sustainable eating looks like. So I think those three key messages are going to be discussed a lot, and will definitely give people a takeaway action that they can, sign up for and get involved themselves.
Yes, and it's definitely, like you mentioned, important for people and even the children, because I was working with the American Heart and NAACP and some other great organizations on a recent bill that was passed in Montgomery County just to get more healthier options on the restaurant menus out there, and that was just passed. And we need more. We need definitely more of this. It is really important. A lot of people don't understand and the impact to children's health now until it's too late. So we really have a lot to work to do in this area. What other details do you want to provide about the webinar?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think one of the easiest ways for folks to get involved is by joining our program, Default Veg. And we kind of offer default veg materials to anyone who would like them. And it's a really cool strategy because it really works with a lot of these other laws and sort of ordinances and policies. Any policy that is striving to reduce meat and impact people and bring more plants to the table can really work with a default veg style strategy. So no matter where you are and what policies you're exploring in your community, I think default veg is a great way to get your, to just bring your legislators and your mayors and whoever you're working with, the strategy that's like, here, just shift the menus a little bit, just make plants the default option. And by doing that, you'll see profound impacts. The studies have shown that it's about a 60% increase in the uptake of plant-based options just by using that strategy. So yeah, you can learn more about that at defaultveg.org, and definitely tune into the webinar. We have the link below, bit.ly/veg policy, just to learn about all of these different amazing citizen activists and how they're working in their communities. That's the really crucial part, is that community connection and bringing all the groups to the table.
So you're hearing it right now live on Naijha Speaks. Citizen advocacy, how to enact plant-based food policies in your city. So Tuesday, March 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. You want to go to bit.ly/veg policy. Don't wait till tomorrow to register. Register today, and you know a friend of a friend of a friend that is an activist in your community that needs to attend the webinar. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So, come on, hang out with us. I'll be moderating. I have some ideas and suggestions as well. As a matter of fact, Maryland Vegan Restaurant Week is going on right now. And that's one of the ways that you can enact some policy in your own city. Laura, do you have anything else you want to share? How can people best find you, Better Food Foundation, before we head out?
Yeah, so you can visit betterfoodfoundation.org to learn about our work. We do, a lot of just community support and, helping empower citizens in lots of different diverse communities to do their work. And Default Veg is like our signature program. And we encourage people to sign up as ambassadors at defaultveg.org if they want to get more involved.
Thank you. We have one comment that came in. Thank you for tuning in, Juan. I know Juan Posh personally. He has an amazing plant-based cafe over in East Broadway called Legendary Lifestyle Cafe. Love it, love it, love it. So peace and power, family. It's all about plant-based living. You are right about that. So again, let's bring it up. Share if you're watching the replay. Later on today, please share. Let your folks and friends and families know if you're trying to enact plant-based food policies in your city. You are going to want to go to bit.ly/veg policy and sign up for this webinar scheduled for Tuesday, March 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Thanks again for tuning in. Laura, I appreciate you taking the time out to, answer these questions. Very important. And we need more. We need more policies. So whatever you do, please be well, be safe, and have a great day.